Hello everyone! What comes to your mind when you think of Werribee? Before we moved out to Melbourne's western suburbs, I had these pretty vague pictures of what Werribee was like. I imagined lots of old weatherboard houses at the end of the metro train line, a place with affordable homes right on the edge of the city, just before you head towards Geelong and the Great Ocean Road. Then, in late 2019, we moved to a suburb near Werribee, and short after, COVID hit. With the Victorian government's 5 kilometers travel restriction, we couldn't go far from home. But because of the lockdown, we ended up getting to know the area really well. I spent a lot of time with my young child, exploring playgrounds, parks, using public transport, and wandering through different neighborhoods. As I got to know Werribee better, I realized it has many different faces. In this video, I want to show you the many faces of Werribee. The good, the not so good, and everything in between, all based on my personal opinions. Whether you are curious or considering moving here, I hope this tour gives you a better sense of what this suburb has to offer. Hello everyone, I'm Lee. On this channel, I share my personal experience and thoughts about Melbourne suburbs. If you're interested in this topic, feel free to check out my other videos. And a big thank you for everyone who is encouraging me to use my own voice instead of an AI-generated one. If you haven't heard about Werribee, it is a suburb about 32 kilometers west of Melbourne city centre. One of the biggest things people notice about Werribee is how affordable it is. Housing here is about 41% cheaper than the rest of Greater Melbourne. Right now, in 2024, the median house price is sitting at around $620,000 and the rent average about $470 per week. So if you're looking for budget-friendly options in Melbourne, Werribee might just be on your radar. In my opinion, Werribee's neighborhood has 5 distinct faces. Let's start with the green and beautiful ones. There are some really nice neighborhoods here with lots of greeneries, and the playgrounds here are modern and well-maintained, which is perfect for families. It's generally a safe place, though you might come across some litter or the occasional loose dog in the playgrounds, which can be a bit worrying. The areas near the Werribee River are fantastic. There is a great trail along the river for walking or cycling. I personally love kayaking on the Werribee River, and I often launch my kayak from the Riverbend Historical Park. It's a fun and refreshing way to get some exercise. The homes here have an upscale feel, and with large green spaces and low housing density, the area feels quiet and tucked away. Second, the older areas. Some parts of Werribee has older residential streets with small, modest weatherboard houses. They are old homes, but well-maintained and have a nice, lovely garden, but some properties that haven't been looked after make people feel a bit run down in the area. And I have to talk about Werribee Station again. The railway station is part of the town's history. It is a really important building, and it's really dirty. It could use a bit of cleanup. It is disappointing to see the station in such poor condition, especially given its important role in the town's history and the large number of passengers it served every day. Despite the dirty railway station, Werribee has a charming town centre that's about 170 years old. The town center is very functional with all kinds of amenities. There's supermarkets, medical centers, pharmacies, pawn shops, a range of eateries, an ice cream shop, bars, cafes, and an outdoor swimming pool, sports grounds, tennis club. Behind the town center, you will find Wyndham Park, a spacious green area completely free of cars. It's a great spot for kids. Personally, I like Werribee's Old Town Centre. It might not as be fancy as Chapel Street in South Yarra, but it's definitely functional and walkable. I find it generally cleaner than Footscray, where I used to live. The streets are narrow with speed bumps, which helps keep the traffic slow and makes it very pedestrian-friendly. There are covered walkways in front of the shops to shield people from the rain. The large trees enhance the area's lush green atmosphere. I also feel much safer here. I don't need to rely on my street smarts like I did in Footscray. I'm comfortable browsing my phone in public without worrying about someone trying to snatch it. That being said, it's worth noting that the crime rate in Werribee has increased recently, so it's still important to stay alert. I always make sure to keep my fancy iPhone in my pocket if I see a group of teenagers heading my way. Third, let's talk about the new estates in Werribee. These neighborhoods feature modern houses, often built on smaller plots of land. The large, fancy playgrounds are designed to attract family buyers, but the trees are still young, so there's not much shade in the public spaces during hot summer days. With new houses constantly being built, you will often see construction vans and trucks around. Many of the houses look quite similar, and you might notice some illegal dumping on the footpaths. If you have seen my other videos, you will know I'm not a big fan of these new estates. They tend to lack character, with a lot of houses looking the same. Plus, you will likely need to drive to reach supermarkets and other amenities because they are a bit far away from everything, and seriously lacking in public transport options. That said, once the construction wraps up and the area has a chance to settle, I think it will start to feel more established. My main concern is whether the public transport will be able to keep up with the growing population. If you are a new immigrant to Australia and don't drive yet, or if you rather avoid the extra costs of the second car, insurance, and the registration, it's crucial to choose your living area wisely and check out the public transport options. You don't want to be stuck in a neighborhood where having an extra car is a must. Fourth, we have the everyday neighborhoods in Werribee. These are your typical residential areas, neither brand new or historic, with tree-lined streets and well-kept roads. The front yard gardens might be a bit messy, but the land sizes are decent. These areas don't really stand out. The trees are there, but they don't provide much shade or visual interest. Overall, it's pretty plain and basic, maybe even a bit dull, but definitely affordable. That said, since these neighborhoods were developed before the new estates, they generally have better bus routes. You will also find more generous natural stripes and larger land sizes, so you won't feel as cramped with your neighbors compared to the newer estates with their smaller blocks. Fifth, let's talk about Werribee's growing population. The area has been expanding rapidly, and the population is expected to keep increasing. This growth could start putting pressure on public service like schools, healthcare, and transport. From my own experience living in the Wyndham Council area, I've seen firsthand how a growing population can affect the quality of services. When we live in Footscray, under the Melbourne Council, the staff at the community centre were amazing. The nurse not only remembered my name, but also my child's, and she was incredibly attentive, especially when I was dealing with the stress of raising a newborn. She took the time to support us, and it made a huge difference during such a hectic time. But since moving to Wyndham, things has been different. I've had to book appointments months in advance, and sometimes appointments would get cancelled on the day itself. I end up waiting for another couple of months to reschedule. By the time we finally got to an appointment, we would already missed some key milestones for our child's checkups. When we did finally see the nurse, it felt like she was rushed and didn't really take the time to get to know the child better. With so many families to see, it seemed like she didn't have the time to answer our questions and often recommended going to a GP or specialist instead. So from what I experienced, the quality of public services can really vary depending on the population size and the consult area. Here in Wyndham, the growing demand has made things more challenging. And there you have it, the many faces of Werribee. I hope this gave you some insight into what life in Werribee is like through my eyes. If you've been here or are thinking of moving, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.